Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So I wanted to show you an angle you can use in terms of using the ratings, but from a post-race analysis point of view. So one of the things our ratings do is they produce R figures, and these R figures are performance figures based on speed, so like speed figures and performance figures. So it's like an overall calculated figure that we come up with based on their previous runs. And what that can do is that can demonstrate and show how strong a race is and how difficult it was to win that race. Let me give you a few examples and we can hopefully understand this a bit better. So let's start off with the 3-year-old maiden hurdle at Punchestown, the 11:40 yesterday, which was won by Mighty Bandit. Now, Mighty Bandit won the race. He was the newcomer in the race and he beat our top rated horse, Lark in the Morning. And if we have a look at his R figures, Lark in the Morning, we can see there were a 118.8 and a 120.0, which weren't amazing R figures. You know, look at the other figures in the race anyway. Other horses had already achieved better figures, but they were very inconsistent. So in hindsight, and even looking at this race beforehand, it wouldn't have taken a lot to win this race. So although Mighty Bandit won the race, would you be instantly saying, oh, that's going to win a Triumph Hurdle or a Boodles Hurdle? No, you wouldn't. Although it won by 9.5 lengths and it won it easily, it didn't actually have that much to beat. And people get deceived by winning distances. They see a big distance, they go, wow, that's going to win then. That's, you know, a really good horse. No, that's not how it works. I mean, if I was running in a race against somebody, you know, an actual foot race, they could probably beat me and beat me quite comfortably, but they're not going to then win a, you know, the 100-meter sprint at the Olympics because actually I wasn't the best benchmark. And that's really what these R figures can help you do. They can find a benchmark. Was it a good race? Are they interesting going forward? Or are they very interesting going forward? You know, Mighty Bandit might well progress, but at this stage, he didn't have much to beat, so that wasn't that impressive. We'll find another race. This was a maiden race, and we can see that Morning Suit won the race. And Morning Suit had previously ran a 110.7. Now, that's not the best figure on the flat. That's not an amazing figure. And Arctic Thunder, who finished 5th, didn't beat any of these horses who had both had runs, and they weren't great runs. So would you be looking at Arctic Thunder next time out as a strong candidate for a race? Probably not. You'll probably find that there's going to be either a better maiden in the race or a better newcomer in the race that would probably beat Arctic Thunder. So although Arctic Thunder went off the 7-4 favourite, people will be going, oh, next time that'll win a race. I wouldn't be so confident. If we move on to the 12:05 at Haydock, a novice hurdle, a grade 2 this year, it was upgraded from a listed. Let's have a look who won the race. So it was Cam Sinas, who won the race for the same owners as last year. And he had previously achieved a 142.9 and a 141.2. Everything else in the race was about the same. We can see that Bowens Park, who fell, had achieved a 146.2. Not amazing figure. And what I mean by not amazing figure is let's have a look at last year's. This was last year's, and we can see that Snake Roll had achieved a 146.8, and Sizing Potsy had achieved some 150s. So Tamuras beating 150s and a 146.8 when the horse got round was a better performance than Kamsinas winning yesterday. He didn't have as much to beat yesterday as Tamuras did, although it was a bigger field. So in terms of who's likely to be the better horse, well, definitely Tamuras. Tamuras would be stronger going forward and what he achieved than Kamsinas. Would I be expecting Kamsinas to go and win the Tolworth Hurdle? I wouldn't be as confident of him winning as Tamuras won the race. Would I be confident that Kamsinas can follow that up? Not sure, to be honest, because that wasn't the strongest race. Another one we can look at, the 12:13 at Punchestown. So the winner was Predator's Gold, had achieved a 139.0 figure. Good figure. Now that was a good figure for a winner. and he won again. Okay, so you're like, well, that's quite boring because the horse won. Let's have a look at the horse in behind then. So this is where we can then look at the horse in behind and go, is he interested in going forward? Well, he was only beaten 6 lengths on his first run under rules. He would be more interesting to me than the likes of Lark in the Morning, the likes of Lark in the Morning or Arctic Thunder or even Campsoness. Going forward, I would be more interested in Mossy Fen Park because he's been beaten by a horse who had already set a really good figure. So he's probably one you want to put in your Nagme, and maybe even Dr. Elvis. I mean, it's the owners who love to end up in the handicaps. Could be something for the county hurdle, although it was comfortably beaten. Let's put it down. Maybe county hurdle, type of horse, and beaten by a smart horse. So Predator's Gold, I think, is smart. Let's look at the 205 at Ascot. Now, this is another way we look at this, that we can use these R figures. So Blue King Daru won the race, and he had actually achieved the lowest R figures coming into the race. But Paul Nicholls obviously believed he was better than that, the fact that he was prepared to run him here and not the handicap the day before. Hence, we had a bet on him, and he won for us. What that says to me is Blue King Daru is very good. I think he's very, very smart. He beat Strong Lady of Theatre Glory, Goshen and So Royale, who had all achieved better figures than him. It could be that Blue King Daru is going to get a really big hike for that. Let's have a look what they were rated coming into the race. Blue King Daru was rated 138. The runner-up was rated 143. Blue King Daru was getting £2. I think Blue King Daru would be nearer 146, 147, 148. I reckon he could go up £10 for that. He beat some good horses. He beat them comfortably. He's only a 4-year-old. He's clearly very, very progressive. And clearly, Grade 2, Grade 1 company is his bag. If he didn't go up too much, this is where we can also look at this. If, say, the handicapper only put him up £5 for that, I'd be really keen on him in a handicap then off 143. 143, 144, 145. I think he would win a handicap because he's clearly got a lot of potential and he's beaten horses with much better R figures. The final one I want to talk about, another one, is Dirty Den beating Dodger Long at Huntingdon in a bumper. Now, if I just go back to this race here, Predator's Gold had ran a 139 in a bumper. Dodger Long had run a 136.6. That's not a bad figure in a bumper. And they were staying in bumpers. And Dirty Den came here on his debut as a 3-year-old and won. And won quite comfortably in the end, really. He drew clear inside the last half a furlong to pull away from Dodger Long. Now, a 136.6 in a bumper, is a good effort. You would have expected a bit of improvement from Dodger Long, and yet Dirty Den was still able to beat him. So Dirty Den would probably be, I'm not going to say he's going to win the Grade 1 bumpers at Aintree and Cheltenham, but he's certainly going to be able to win another bumper somewhere, and he's definitely one that has achieved a good figure there on debut. I know I previously had an argument with, a discussion with a person on Twitter over a horse and using the R figures, in the fact that they were bigging up a horse who'd finished second to an odds-on favourite. But the odds-on favourite, although he'd been winning races, hadn't been beating anything. His R figures were really low, and he hadn't actually been beating anything. That horse who finished second he's pulled up on his last 2 occasions. He's only rated 109, and yet they were suggesting he was going to be very smart. But using those R figures, I could tell that actually the horse that he'd been beaten by wasn't even that smart himself. So how was he going to be smart? So sometimes you can use the R figures to really gauge whether you've been beaten by a good horse or you've beaten a good horse, or whether actually it was a race that really you should have been winning if you felt you had a good horse, or should have been winning if it was like a trial for a Cheltenham race or something like that. So there's ways you can use the R figures to find out strong races and find out weak races and find those that are worth noting going forward, and those that probably aren't. So let's just go through those again. I'm not that interested in Mighty Bandit. Not interested in Arctic Suit. Don't think Kamsanas will end up as good as Tamuras. Am interested in Brennis Leskryba and Dr. Elvis. Definitely like Blue King Daru. Let's just make a note of that. 1, aged 4, in a grade 2, beating horses with much higher R figures. And Dirty Den I also think will be quite good, because I think he's beaten a decent horse in Dodge Along anyway. Beat good horse in second, decent R figure on debut, should improve. One that you've got to keep an eye on next time out, Dirty Den and Dodge Along. I mean, that's not a poor performance from Dodge Along. I imagine we might find that this was an improvement from Dodge Along, and if it was, say he ran a 140 there, Dirty Den's run a 145, and that would be a really good figure on debut. So there's just a quick way to how you can use your R figures, the Rating the Races R figures, to help you going forward in terms of horses that are interesting and horses that actually have just run in moderate races, and despite winning distances they've been exaggerated because actually the horses behind were moderate.